Stand by.
Hey guys, Jim Grant here for AmmoLand TV, and today we're taking a closer look at this, the latest handgun from Sig Sauer, the P365 X-Macro. If you're not familiar with it, this is the latest version of the 365 series of handguns. Now, they initially came out with the standard 365, a few years back, and it had a 10-round capacity, which was pretty awesome for the time. They then went on to the XL model with a 12-round capacity, but the Macro now bumps that number up to an incredible 17 rounds flush fitting in this magazine. And even though it's a 17-round magazine in this gun, which is essentially like a mid-sized gun, it's only an inch wide. So despite the fact that it's got a little more grip to it than a standard XL or whatnot, but it is extremely concealable. But that's not the only aspect you're going to know about. So starting at the muzzle, I'll work my way backward on all the features of the new X-Macro. So first and foremost, you'll notice at the front, just ahead of the front sight, is an integral 2-port compensator. If you're like me, you probably thought when you saw this initially, what's the point? It's a 9mm handgun. And yeah, I thought the exact same thing right up until I started putting plus P rounds through the gun. And when I compared it side by side to my standard 365 XL, the amount of muzzle rise, the amount of felt recoil was substantially less on the Macro. It's actually a pretty remarkable little setup. Yeah, it's going to be loud in an indoor scenario or whatnot, but realistically, if you have to use a concealed carry gun, your hearing's going to get blasted anyway. You might as well keep the gun on target and get more rounds on target. Now beneath this, you'll notice that they've done away with the proprietary rail, and now they've utilized a standard Picatinny rail, so you can mount whatever light or laser or combination of the two that you want, instead of being kind of restricted to SIG-specific laser light combos. Continuing back, they now have made the flat-faced competition trigger standard on the 365 Macro, which is fantastic. And if you look just underneath it, it's got a nice little undercut to give you a little bit better purchase on the handgun. Now, if we keep going back, you'll notice that the grip, yeah, it's the standard molded stippling style grip you see on all the 365 handguns, but take a closer look, and the very back of it, the back strap, is actually interchangeable now. So it comes with 3 different interchangeable backstraps, which you can replace by driving out this pin back here. Now, if you instead turn around and go up, you'll notice that it comes optics ready from the factory, and unlike the 365 XL, the optics plate no longer has the rear sight integral to it. So if you want to have backup irons, or you don't want to have to worry about re-zeroing your iron sights if you remove or add a red dot, it's not an issue any longer because the sights are actually mounted to a dovetail at the rear of the slide, separate from the optics plate. So in a nutshell, that's the entire gun. So why would you want this over something like, well, I don't know, a 365 or a 365 XL? Well, like all of the 365 handguns, in a word, modularity. See, you drop the mag, back the slide open, rotate the disassembly lever, and take the slide assembly off. And then take my current carry piece, this 365 XL, on a standard 365 frame, remove the magazine, rotate the disassembly lever down, which is hard to see, it's on the other side, and now I have got a compact frame with the new compensated slide, and I can either run the standard 10-round magazine, which is pretty badass, or, and with addition to, I can have the 17-round magazine as a backup. That's right, the new 17-round magazines that come with the Macro, and it includes 2 of them, are backwards compatible with all 365 handguns, which is fantastic. Now, thus far, I don't think they include or offer a grip sleeve for it, but they very well might on the magazines you buy separately. But what about performance, right? So this is a decent amount of features and whatnot, but how did the gun actually run? Well, I've had a chance to run about 500-600 rounds with the gun, in addition to a couple of different guns I got to shoot at a SIG event they invited me to, and I didn't have any malfunctions whatsoever. And this included, force of habit. This included a bunch of defensive rounds, including rounds from Hornady, rounds from SIG's Performance Ammo, and even Federal Hydra Shocks. No problems whatsoever. I also included several varieties of full metal jacket, including 115 grain, 124 grain NATO spec from MKE/Diamond Dog, which I believe is just rebranded Turkish ammo, and no issues whatsoever. The gun just keeps running and running and running. And the gun's not just reliable, it was actually pretty damn accurate too. With virtually all ammunition tested, I was able to punch out the X-ring on a NRA pistol target at about 20 yards. And well, at least when utilizing this Romeo 1 Elite Red Dot, which actually brings me to my next point, is that yes, it is optics ready and it is pre-cut for either a Romeo pattern or a Shield RMSC pattern red dot. So you don't have to utilize one, but if you want to, it's there. So overall, is the P365 X-Macro worth a buy? Well, while SIG never gave us a true MSRP, you know, a little bird told me that you're going to see these things for, at the very cheapest initially, about $799. It's not a cheap handgun at all. But I mean, it's SIG. You're not really going to expect it to get something that's super cheap from them anyhow. And I think this is a must-have gun, or at least the magazines, for people who already carry a 365 or a 365 XL and want a little more capacity, or, you know, a more capacious backup magazine, or alternatively are looking to get something that's a little more capacious than, say, like a pocket pistol, or a little more concealable than something like either a P320 compact or a Glock 19. It's a fantastic little handgun. It's very lightweight and it seems to be extremely accurate. The only people that I would say should not bother with this handgun are those that exclusively pocket carry, because it's a little too big to pocket carry, and those that live in banned states, because, you know, the larger 17-round magazines are kind of a moot point if you only own 10-rounders. Anyway, for AmmoLand TV, I'm Jim Grant. Thanks guys for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, I will catch you guys on the flip side.